In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things you must stop doing if you want to get to the next levels of consciousness. These are things that happen quickly when you apply and you just stop doing. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 things you must stop doing to get to the next level of consciousness. Understanding that as you raise your vibration, as you move up this scale, things happen easier than ever for you. You feel higher vibrational emotions, so you enjoy life more. And really, I think the key to people experiencing the life they want, it's raising vibration. It's raising your level of consciousness. Now understand that with the book Power vs. Force, what it shows and what I've been teaching for a while on the channel is that everyone has a gravity base point vibration. Sometimes you may hear me refer to it as a vibrational set point. Our vibrational set point is tuned to a certain frequency based on a majority of the time. A majority of the time based on the meaning we give to things in the past. Given to the meaning we give to the present moment and how we're showing up in the present moment. Now, one of the easiest ways to move yourself up this scale is to understand that this love is who you naturally are. Anything less than love is being attached to something, a positionality, which means a perspective, attached to something that happened in the past, attached to something someone said about you, something that is not you, thinking that is you. So part of the key of becoming love is to actually let go. Think of it as some type of weight that's holding you down, and when you cut the tie to that weight, you then feel free. You then raise your vibration back up. Now, there's 3 common things that I see when it comes to raising vibration that makes all the difference. And these are things that you might learn, and it might take a little bit longer to learn unless you're watching this video now, so this will help you navigate through that. However, for me, these are things that especially apply to my own life. Now, first off, when it comes to getting to the next level, the first thing you must stop doing in order to raise to the next level of consciousness is you must give up the positionality you currently have that's keeping you where you are. You must give up the perspective you have in order to get to the next level. So for example, if you are feeling guilt, which gives a meaning that you did something that you shouldn't have done, and you are blaming yourself, which is the emotion of guilt, and you're feeling that a lot. You're thinking thoughts that are equal to guilt, you're having emotions that are equal to guilt, you're taking action in your body language as if you're feeling guilt. The thing is when you realize that you did the best you could with where you were, and you start to understand that you may have those thoughts, but those thoughts aren't you, then you can get rid of that positionality and move up to the next level. And a next level could be anger. It could be anger. For example, you're angry at a certain situation rather than feeling guilty. Anger is a higher vibrational emotion than shame, fear, and guilt. Because anger means I have a reason to feel this way. For example, if someone felt shame and they felt shame for something they did, they wouldn't feel anger, because anger means you have a reason for feeling angry. It means you're at least worthy enough to where something that happened shouldn't have happened. But if you feel shame, there's just almost a level of apathy there. So in order to get to anger, you must let go of the ring you are on. Think of it like a ladder. If you have a ladder and you're moving up the ladder, you must get rid of the one below. You must step on it and then go to the next one and then let go of this one. Take your feet off of it and go up to the next one. But if you remain attached and you're attached to that perspective, you're never going to move up the ladder. So in the same way, you must be able to let go of this positioning. One of the biggest jumps you'll make is at the level of neutrality and love. These are the 2 biggest shifts that you make when it comes to your vibration. For me, a huge shift happened in 2012 with neutrality, which is where I began to observe my thoughts, realize that I may think thoughts, but they are not who I am. Then I saw that I was angry at my ex-stepmom for having, the abusive past that I had, the fear, the lower vibrational emotions I felt. I was then able to observe them from a neutral place, and then those things transformed. Now from there, love from reasoning, which is the 400s, which is like your beliefs about reality, your beliefs about who you are, when you then change and realize you can let go of all of those beliefs and just be love, from thinking and doing into being, that's when so much will change. Einstein was at a 499, right on the cusp of love. He was starting to realize that love is everything, but he would have had to completely let go of his perspectives in order to then get into love. And the same way, now it doesn't mean you need to be a genius to be at 499. That can actually sometimes hurt you, because then as a genius you become more attached to your ideas and your positionalities. So it's not like the smarter you are, then you can move into love. That's not the way it works. He was just a very intellectual person. However, you can get to that from reasoning to love by letting go of the perspectives of the beliefs and all the ideas, by just being who you naturally are. So remember, your vibration is a combination of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And your current reality has been you thinking, acting, and feeling at a certain level of consciousness, within a certain emotional, a certain gravity. And if you want to change how you think, feel, and act, you must realize also each of these lower levels especially, they're just different perspectives. Like right now, you can imagine a perspective of you that's angry, that gets triggered at everything that's happening. You could also imagine you as feeling fear. Let's say fear. You can imagine yourself feeling fear and walking around feeling fearful of everything. They're different lenses through which you can see the world. But in order to move up the scale, you got to be willing to take off the lens to then see things more clear. To put on the new lens until you get to love when there is no lens. It's just who you naturally are. Love and above that, which is joy, peace, and enlightenment. So this is about realizing that you must be willing to let go. And the biggest jump right here as well, by the way, one of the biggest ones is responsibility with willingness. A lot of people that are successful, willpower, discipline. A lot of people that are successful have had traumatic pasts. And what they did is they transmuted it and then used that energy in this way. And that then they realize reasoning, they realize their thoughts, the intellect, how their beliefs create their reality, and how they can change the way they think, and then they change their life. But then eventually you let that go and you just be love. Be here now. However, moving in this, you gotta then let that go to get to the next level. So first off, be willing to let go. And the responsibility, that's what I was going with this. Right at this level, when you start to get into power, so you got force, which is the lower vibrational emotions, and then power going up, it's you start to take responsibility for what happened in the past. You start to take responsibility for the meanings you give things. Remember, responsibility means the ability to respond. And when you take responsibility, then you can change it. You can't change it if these are things that happen to you. So it's that awareness. So responsibility, the ability to respond. And then you realize eventually that reasoning, everything is the meaning you give it. Things in life are neutral. Depends on the meaning you give it to the reality you experience. But then above that, you could just be in love. In love with life, in love with yourself. So this is the first thing that you must be willing to let go of, is the lower vibrational positionality or perspective. Now the second one is actually one from love and below. This is the most common thing that I see, is beliefs create reality. So whatever you believe to be true is reflected back to you on the outside. Now I've been studying this work for a while, understanding beliefs and understanding what beliefs we have about who we are. And the most powerful beliefs that affect us are what are called identity beliefs. Identity beliefs. Your beliefs about who you are. And the most common belief about who people are that limits people is believing that you are not worthy. Now remember, love is who you really are. If you're not worthy, you believe that you are not love. You believe you have to do something to be lovable. And because of that, you then put yourself into this category of comparing yourself to other people, to believing something someone may have said in the past. But the most common identity belief that people have that keep them in lower vibration is that of believing you are unworthy, that you aren't enough. And that fallacy, that belief, will continue to experience a reality where you think, act, and feel equal to that belief. So for example, you'll think you're not worthy, you'll walk out, you'll act like you're not worthy because of your body language, and you'll feel that way as well. Other people will then pick up on that energy from you and then respond to you in that way, and also treat you as if you're not worthy. But if you change the lens through which you change the world, change the positionality, you'll then change your life. So how do you let go of the belief that you're unworthy? The most powerful way that I found to do it, and that's the second thing you let go of, by the way, is the belief that you're unworthy, that you're not enough, is you doubt everything that says you're not enough. Doubt. 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 So my last name is Doughty, okay? Doughty. And I used to think that, I was like, I teach police spirituality. This is so paradoxical that or weird that my name is that last name. And I always thought it was like a fault in a way. But what I've actually come to do is really embrace it, because I believe that the key to becoming free of beliefs that don't serve you is by doubting the beliefs you have that aren't true and you don't prefer to have. Doubting them. And the first way you doubt something is by being aware of it. Every single one of us has a certain level, I believe, certain level of beliefs that says, I'm not worthy. I need to do something to be loved. I'm not enough. And because of that, we experience a negative emotion. If you doubt that belief, you doubt what people say about you, you doubt it, you look at it, you become aware of it, and then you doubt it. You question it. Why is that true? Like Byron Katie's work. It's called The Work. It's called You Ask 4 Questions. It's like, can I absolutely know that it's true? Can I know that it's true that I'm not worthy? No. There's just a certain point in our past that we may have decided, this means this. I didn't get picked for this, for kickball. I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. I'm not in shape enough. My girlfriend broke up with me when I was this age and I wasn't enough. My dad and mom didn't treat me the way that I thought, and therefore I'm not enough. See, these are all beliefs that people have that keep them under the vibration of love, which is who you naturally are. Let me tell you right now, you are enough. And one of the ways you also understand that you're enough is you start to put the intention out there to find your purpose. You feel like you're in high vibration when you're living your purpose. So I'm making this video right now, I feel like I'm in high vibe. I love making this video. Now, find out what your purpose is. Set the intention to figure it out. I tell you right now, you do have a purpose on being here. And what are the rules about what it takes for you to feel worthy? Do you have a rule in your mind that says you have to have everyone accept you and everyone like you in order for you to feel worthy? I've been actually dealing with this recently. And I've become aware that I have these conflicting beliefs. I'll probably talk more about this in a couple videos, so you'll probably hear this more than once. But recently, I've been growing more and more on YouTube. And I've been having more and more people see the work that I do. And on one level, I want to grow because I want to reach more people. I believe there's a spiritual awakening happening on the planet at a greater level. And I'm aware that I share very esoteric ideas. I'm aware that some of these ideas may look kind of new age to certain people. And I'm aware that not everyone's going to like what I share. However, what I've realized recently is that I have this resistance because part of me wants to grow and spread this message, but the other part of me doesn't want to be judged by people. So I've been feeling this like inner conflict, because the more people I reach, the more I get people that love what I do, and also on the other side of that, people that don't necessarily like what I do. Or they are able to, speak negatively about it, and sometimes that gets to me. And I'm realizing that what is the rule that I have for me to feel worthy? Now here's something else I realized. Maybe you can apply this too. You came here to be bold. I believe I came here to spread these ideas and to share what I really am passionate about, regardless of whether people like it or not. I've met other, also like people, that also do the same thing as me, and I've realized that almost everyone I meet is like really, really cool. However, I realize that sometimes I'm like, oh, somebody doesn't maybe want to talk to me, that's in the same niche as me or something, I then assume that there's something wrong with me. Not realizing that it may have nothing to do with me. It may just have to do with my energy is kind of a lot, and maybe that just repels certain people. Who knows? But what I'm learning is the more I let go of those rules, the more I can feel worthy by myself, and the more I can boldly know this is what I came to do. If I'm going to have and associate pain with growing and having people judge me, then I'm not going to get very far. But if I let go of that rule, I can then more embody my purpose. So I share that with you because that's like an inner conflict I've been having recently that I've been becoming aware of, and I'm really just realizing I just need to embody my purpose and not care what people think. And now that I'm reaching more people, part of it is not everyone's gonna like the ideas and the content, and when you get to a certain level, there's just more trolls that come in. It's a part of the process. Not trolls as in they're lower vibrational on the scale, just more so like realizing that that's just a part of the game. But worthiness, what rules do I have to feel that love? And the rules I have is I just choose. I make it easy for me to feel love, easy for me to think that I'm enough, and to focus on the people that love what I do. Now, if you're watching this video, then that's probably you, and I say thank you, and I love you. Now, I want you to know though as well, you are enough, and you have a purpose for being here. And when you lessen the rules you have about what it takes to be loved, you will then find that it is easier for you to actually feel that. So that's the main key to this process, is realizing that you are loved. Now, one of the most powerful meditations I have is a meditation on completing the past, so you no longer have to repeat the past, to let go of these lower vibrational charges within your energetic field. And it's a meditation of feeling 100% worthy, whole, and complete. If you haven't tried it yet, or if you haven't listened to it for 21 days yet, I highly recommend you do it. Read the comments to see what is possible, but it will complete the patterns of the past so that you can then raise your vibration. Now, the third thing you must stop doing to raise your vibration to the next level is you must stop controlling your life or not controlling your life. Now, let me explain to you how control works on the levels of consciousness. From the level of, let's say, the lower vibrational emotions and below, sometimes there's a level of one, not taking the responsibility, which means the ability to respond, to choose the meaning of the lower, of what things mean, because what things mean then perpetuate the emotion. Understand, that's where emotion comes from. Emotion comes from meaning. If we think that a rainy day is going to make us feel negative emotion, if we give that a negative emotion, then we will get a negative effect out of it. But if we give it a positive meaning, we then feel positive emotion out of it. Now, here's the thing with this. Sometimes it may be necessary for us to control more of our life. What I mean by that is to take control of our emotions and the meaning we give things, to make the jump from the lower vibes into the mid vibes. And then in the mid vibes, we have willingness, which normally is a certain level of control. It's a certain level of being, I have a strong discipline. I get up every morning, I make a video. This is my daily habits. And I go to the gym, I do all these things. Discipline serves me. But then to get to the next level, I gotta let go of that control and surrender. So control may be needed to get into the mid level. And then from the mid levels of control, discipline, success, you then want to get the love, you may have to let go of that control and surrender. So the key to this is asking yourself, where do you feel like you are? And understand it's not better or worse if you're upper or lower. Think of it more like a scale like this, so that you don't get to the ego aspects of it. But be honest with yourself. For me, I realize that I'm in a level of when I shift back and forth between the mids and the love. Sometimes I feel I'm making that love vibration. Sometimes I'm controlling different aspects of my life, my business, my success, my willpower. But one thing I've had to learn to do is to let go of control, to allow the universe to flow through me, to allow these things to happen, knowing that in the allowing and in the surrender, that's where the magic happens. The more I try to control from the level of my ego, the more resistance I create. Now, on the same point of that though, back in the day, I had no control over the meaning I was giving things, and I just lived in more of an apathetic state, which means I was just more of just existing, going to the job every day, thinking, acting, and feeling equal to the job that I work, doing the same things every day, therefore experiencing the same reality. One of the best ways to deal with this control is to do something you've never done before and surrender to the experience. It's a very powerful way to move through this scale. Now, understand where you are in relevance to control, and one of the best ways to move up is to realize you can trust the universe more, you can trust your higher self more. Your higher self can bring you amazing things. All you got to do is trust, surrender, and know that the universe may have something better in store for you than what your ego can have. In a way, you, in the lower vibes, then begin to build up your ego, and then you have to dissolve your ego as you move more into love. You're still aware of your ego. It's not like it completely goes away. You need your ego for having a human experience. And even enlightened people, not that they, maybe they don't identify with their ego, but they're still having a human experience if they're here physically. So this is about being aware that you may build up the ego to get to success, And then it's about dissolving it, becoming more aware of it, observing it, letting go of control, allowing things to flow through. So just be aware of that, of maybe you need to get more control over the meanings you give things, and then have willpower and move in a certain direction, or moving from here to here, more of surrender. So like I said, listen to that meditation for 21 days, complete the past, feel 100% worthy and complete by listening to it. And other than that, hope you enjoyed this video. As always, peace, much love, and namaste.